Picture this scenario with absolute clarity. You're dating a woman. Everything feels smooth on the surface. The chemistry is there. The connection seems genuine. Then out of nowhere, she asks you for money. Now you're standing at a crossroad that will define the entire relationship moving forward. Do you give in, hoping it keeps the peace and maintains harmony? Or do you refuse, worried she'll walk away and you'll lose what you've built? Here's the uncomfortable truth that most men never hear from anyone in their lives. Most men fold immediately without thinking. They hand over the cash thinking it buys loyalty, thinking it demonstrates their value as a provider. But what it actually buys is disrespect. Because the moment you cave without establishing boundaries, you've trained her to see you less like a man and more like a sponsor, like a resource to be extracted from. And sponsors get drained systematically until they're empty. But here's the twist that changes everything. Saying no doesn't have to push her away. In fact, if you do it the right way, with the right frame, it can pull her closer. Boundaries aren't repellent to quality women. To the right woman, boundaries are attractive. They signal strength, self-respect, and the kind of masculine frame she's actually looking for. So in this analysis, I'll give you 5 proven strategies to say no to her financial demands without killing attraction. These aren't theories pulled from textbooks. They're battle-tested principles that keep respect alive while protecting your dignity. Most men don't get blindsided by a money request out of nowhere. They invited it. How? By leading with their wallet from the beginning, flashing the car keys, boasting about the salary, dropping hints about the house, the investments, the lifestyle. You think you're impressing her with displays of wealth. What you are actually doing is branding yourself as an ATM with emotions attached. Here's the psychology that governs this dynamic. Women interpret signals constantly. When you reveal your wealth too early, before she's demonstrated any real investment in you, you don't just say I'm successful. You say I'm available for exploitation, and once you've given that signal, you can't take it back. Why do men do this? Because we've been conditioned to believe money equals status, and status equals attraction. Yes, success is attractive, but not when you shove it in her face on day one to the wrong woman. Your flex isn't proof of value. It's an open invitation to test how much she can extract before you set boundaries. Let me be brutally clear. A woman who genuinely wants you doesn't need to know your bank balance before she knows your character. If she walks away because you didn't flaunt your income in the first few dates, good. She just saved you thousands of dollars and years of wasted time. So what's the move? Lead with who you are, not what you own. Show her your discipline, your vision, your ambition, your character. Let her discover your lifestyle naturally after she's proven she's there for the man, not the money. Because the moment you lead with your wallet, you've already lost the frame. Not all money requests are equal, and this is where most men fail to differentiate. Sometimes it's survival. Car broke down, rent due, family emergency. Other times it's indulgence, a shopping spree, spa day, or just this once night out. And if you treat every request the same, you end up in one of 2 roles. The cold robot who never helps, or the endless ATM who always does. Neither earns respect. Here's the smarter play. Learn the difference. If it's a genuine crisis, you can step in, but frame it as support, not obligation. I've got you this time, but let's figure out how you can handle this going forward. That's compassion with boundaries. That's leadership. But if it's about luxuries disguised as needs, that's where you pivot. Instead of handing over cash, challenge her to solve it herself. Suggest alternatives, encourage side income, or simply say, I know you can handle this one. Here's the psychological kicker. People value what they earn more than what they're given. By pushing her to create her own solutions, you're not being stingy. You're building her independence. A woman worth keeping won't resent that. She'll respect it. Manipulation thrives on urgency. I need it now. If you don't help today, everything will collapse. That's emotional blackmail wrapped in panic. The antidote is the 24-hour rule. Whenever she asks for money, never answer on the spot. Say calmly, let me think about it. I'll give you an answer tomorrow. That pause does 2 critical things. 1, it clears your emotions so you can think logically instead of reactively. 2, it sends a powerful message. You move on your timeline, not hers. If she respects you, she'll accept it. If she explodes because you didn't instantly obey, that's not a girlfriend, that's a controller. And you just dodged a lifetime of servitude. Remember, money can be replaced. Self-respect cannot. Here's what most men forget in the heat of these moments. Sometimes the money isn't the real need. It's the attention, the care, the sense of being prioritized. And men miss the chance to give that without spending a dime. If she wants a night out, suggest cooking dinner together at home. If she wants her nails done, drive her, wait for her, turn it into a date. Show her she matters with your creativity, not just your cash. Why does this work? Because money is transactional, but presence is personal. Any guy with a credit card can pay her bill. Not every guy can make her feel cherished without opening his wallet. That's what separates a provider from a partner. But, and this is key, presence isn't enough in every situation. If she's about to lose her apartment and you show up with a bouquet instead of help, you're not leading, you're insulting. That's why you must always distinguish between survival and preference. One deserves empathy. The other deserves boundaries. At some point, patience isn't leadership anymore. If the requests keep coming, no matter how you redirect, it's time to face reality. She's not looking for a partner. She's looking for a sponsor. That's when you stop negotiating and get direct. I can't keep funding this. You need to figure it out. If she respects you, she'll rise to the challenge. If she throws a tantrum or threatens to leave, you've just seen her true motives. Either way, you win because the wrong woman eliminates herself. And the right woman proves she's capable of standing beside you, not on top of you. Here's the bigger truth. Respect dies the moment you let her treat you like a safety net. She might stay for the benefits, but admiration evaporates, and without admiration, attraction cannot survive. The bottom line, if money is the glue holding the relationship together, then there was never a relationship, only a transaction. You're not her ATM, you're not her sponsor, you're a man. A man with boundaries, standards, and dignity. So remember the 5 rules. Don't advertise your wallet before she's earned it. Separate emergencies from luxuries. Use the 24-hour rule to break urgency. Replace money with presence when possible, and when necessary, be firm enough to say handle it yourself. Because the truth is this, the right woman doesn't want your money, she wants you. Your strength, your vision, your leadership. And when you draw these lines, you don't just protect yourself. You attract the kind of woman who respects you for it. Money can buy things, but it cannot buy respect. And if you have to pay to keep her, you never had her in the first place. Let me break down why this matters so deeply. When you establish financial boundaries early, you're not just protecting your bank account, you're protecting your frame. Your frame is your reality, your standards, your world. The moment she can manipulate you with financial requests, she controls your frame, and once she controls your frame, attraction dies. Women are attracted to men who have a strong frame, men who cannot be moved by tears, tantrums, or manipulation. This doesn't mean being cruel, it means being immovable in your standards. Think about it this way. Every time you say yes when you should say no, you're teaching her that your boundaries are negotiable. You're teaching her that emotional pressure works. You're teaching her that you value her approval more than your own self-respect. And here's what happens next. She loses respect. Not because she's evil, but because she's human. We all lose respect for people who have no standards. It's not personal. It's psychology. So when you say no to an unreasonable financial request, you're not being selfish. You're being a man. You're demonstrating that you value yourself. And paradoxically, that makes you more attractive. The men who get used are the men who never say no. The men who get respected are the men who say no when it matters. This is the difference between being chosen and being used, between being desired and being tolerated, between being a man and being a resource. Choose wisely, because once you establish yourself as a resource, it's almost impossible to become a man in her eyes again.